Hey YouTube, what's up? My name's Killer Kyle and I want to do a WWE Raw review from February 25th, 2013. Alright, WWE Monday Night Raw started off with Mr. McMahon coming down to the ring and asking Paul Heyman to come out and fight him. Paul Heyman came out and they got into the ring, and basically Paul Heyman attacked Vince McMahon first, but then Vince turned it around on Paul and started hitting him with his crutches, and then all of a sudden Brock Lesnar came out and made the save of the day for Vince McMahon. So that was pretty good. Then we seen Triple H come out and make his shocking return, and he attacked Brock Lesnar, put his head into the ring post, busted him open. I was surprised to see that. And they brawled. You know, there was a spine buster, steel chair, and Lesnar and Heyman retreated to the back. And again, this probably sets up the Brock Lesnar Triple H WrestleMania match, the rematch from last year's SummerSlam. So again, we will see, and I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. Alright, so then we move on. Opening matchup of the evening saw Ryback go one-on-one with Dolph Ziggler, Mr. Money in the Bank, accompanied to the ring by Big E Langston and AJ Lee. Pretty good match, 10-minute match, solid, high impact maneuvers, DDT, power bombs, spine busters, etc. You already know the deal with Ryback. He's like kind of like the Goldberg kamikaze of today. So, it was a very good match. Saw the Shell Shock and Ryback winning. We already knew Ryback was probably going to win the match. I was hoping Ziggler might shock us, but it happens. And Ryback gets the win, and we move on. Another segment, I believe. If I can look, yep, it is. CM Punk segment on I Am God. We will do it like that. It was a good segment, nothing wrong with it, but I know I might get a lot of knocks for this, even though it was set up for the Undertaker feud. Didn't really like the segment, it was what it was, and I'm going to move on from that. We'll just leave it as is. We move on to the next match. I believe it was Mark Henry over the Great Khali. Glad the Great Khali has maybe dropped on 12 in Natalia, probably just on Raw. Maybe he'll bring them out on SmackDown, but it was a hell of a match, back and forth. Mark Henry walking with Khali to deliver the world's strongest slam was something in itself. Almost makes you believe his gimmick of the world's strongest man, and he was a while back there in '95. Of course, we all know that. All of us old wrestling fans know that as well. So Mark Henry over the Great Khali, great matchup, and good build on him towards WrestleMania as well. Then we have The Miz TV with Alberto Del Rio, Ricardo Rodriguez, Zeb Coulter, and the number one contender, Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter have this anti-Mexican thing, and anyone really crossing the border of America, like foreigners, etc. I don't agree with it at all, but I love the storyline. I love the build. It's a really good build for Jack Swagger and Alberto Del Rio heading into the match for the world's title at WrestleMania 29. In New Jersey, New York, at MetLife Stadium. It's going to be a hell of a match. So it was a good storyline that ended up seeing a match made for later on with The Miz and Jack Swagger. Zeb Coulter didn't like how The Miz was conducting the interviews and kind of being biased towards, Alberto Del Rio, but it happened, and the destruction came with Jack Swagger hitting Miz from behind. The match was made later on in the night, and I'll talk more about that going towards that match. Our next match saw Randy Orton over Antonio Cesaro. Good match. Probably about a 9-minute match. It was a heck of a match, no question about it. Biggest spot of the night, seeing the RKO from the middle turnbuckle as Antonio Cesaro jumped. Orton caught with the RKO. Got the 1-2-3. Built momentum going in to probably something with the Shield at WrestleMania. Then we see Sheamus poking fun at Wade Barrett's movie Dead Man Down. Looks like it's going to be a hell of a movie. I don't really see the point in. It's kind of a cheap storyline. It's going to be a hell of a match, no question about that. But you know, it's a cheap storyline. It is what it is. It's going to be a good match, solid match, but cheap storyline. Anyways, we move on with R-Truth. He returned last week, attacked Damien Sandow, so therefore Cody Rhodes took a little offense to that. Had a match with Cody Rhodes. R-Truth defeats Cody Rhodes. Here's what I don't get, is that Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow broke up as a team. Damien Sandow comes down to ringside to watch his match. Yes, they're good friends, but at the same time, like, aren't they broken up as a team? I think this is a little bit of a teaser for a Kingston R-Truth tag team match with Damien and Rhodes at WrestleMania. But they're probably, you know, teasing that they're going to get back together. But why would they break them up? You know, it's lack of direction in my opinion. Good match though. It's a short match, pretty good match. We move on to the next match. Team Hell No defeating the Primetime Players, who again we haven't seen the Primetime Players in quite some time. It was good to see them, even though they got squashed over the champions, who had to wear, Brian had to wear a mask over his face, a blindfold, and Kane had to have one arm tied behind his back. Still able to execute the choke slam on Darren Young and get the 1-2-3. It was entertaining, it was funny for the kids. So there you go, you have a little bit of your PG fun there as well. And then we have the Shield promo on who they've defeated in the past, and we also see Randy Orton sneaking up on Seth Rollins with the RKO, Sheamus distracting Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. So, possible six-man tag with Ryback, Sheamus, and Orton against the Shield. I'm seeing that at Mania, hoping it's an elimination match to add a little bit of flair into it. Maybe some kind of stipulation, maybe another table, ladders, and chairs, but we've seen it done. Maybe a Hell in a Cell. Who knows? Something a little different, you know. The Shield's great. They're working well. They're winning their matches. They shocked us at Elimination Chamber winning against the Super Cena team. So it was a hell of a, you know, setup, you know. But at the same time, hoping it's some kind of stipulation match. Maybe even anything goes. I don't know. We'll see. So then we go on to our Jack Swagger versus The Miz match. Pretty solid match, but I did see The Miz tapping out to Jack Swagger. I really don't like where they're going with The Miz. They're not even doing anything with him. They're doing dick all with the guy. I mean, he was a hell of a heel leading up into WrestleMania 27 a couple of years back. And I know he kind of dropped the ball in that main event match with Cena at Mania 27, but I don't see him doing too well as a face, you know. I don't see that happening. Maybe put him back in the heel role. I don't know. Maybe they got too many heels. I'm not sure how, but I don't see Miz as a good face right now in WWE. They're not doing anything with him. They've really dropped the ball with Miz, and he's very talented. Anyways, our next matchup, scene. The main event of the evening. Everybody knew about it coming into the the show. It was like a pay-per-view quality match. John Cena versus CM Punk. The winner, of course, going in to WrestleMania 29 and facing The Rock for the WWE title. We never seen The Rock on the show, and of course, it's seen Cena winning. But it was a back and forth 25-minute match. It was a pay-per-view quality match for free on television. It's about damn time we see something good on Monday Night Raw. And again, you saw STFs, you saw Anaconda Vice, you saw some good chain wrestling, mat wrestling, you saw high impact moves, and the shocker with the Hurricane Rana from John Cena. You know, really, really popped a lot of eyes open. It was pretty good. Then you saw the attitude adjustment for the 1-2-3. Man, I was out of breath watching that match. The announcers seemed like they were into it. The fans were into it. In Dallas, Texas, hell of a match, 5-star match. I'm sure a lot of people that do reviews here on YouTube probably think the same thing as well. So, my opinion, Raw 4 to 5. It was pretty good, pretty solid storytelling. 7 matches on the card. You have to see the Primetime Players, who we haven't seen in a while, even though they got squashed. in an interesting match with the blindfold, and the Kane had his arm tied behind his back. You've seen a pretty good matchup between Swagger and Miz. Pretty good solid wrestling on this program, and pretty good solid storytelling. The CM Punk promo that I am God and I am bigger than everybody, kind of turned a lot of people's heads, but at the same time it was a good promo. Set up for The Undertaker as he returned at the house show. I didn't even really want to mention that because there's no big surprise there, and everybody was looking for the big surprise of The Undertaker. But it's gonna happen. I think CM Punk versus Undertaker, Jack Swagger versus Del Rio, Sheamus versus Barrett. You're looking at a pretty good card, of course. And then even though it's Cena Rock twice in a lifetime, everybody knows. I'm a little sad about that, but hopefully they can make it better than last year's. Last year's was good. It was solid. But, it wasn't quite the Cena CM Punk match that was tonight. But, we will see in the weeks to come. We are 40 days away from WrestleMania 29. I will do a TNA wrestling review. I will do a Friday Night SmackDown review. I guess it's a social app, Friday Night SmackDown. I don't have anything like that, but I will definitely do a review on those shows. Give me your thoughts on what you think is going to go down between now and WrestleMania. Give me your predictions, how you see everything falling out of the matches, maybe what you think on the card. My reviews are kind of sloppy, but they're getting a little better, so we will definitely work on that. As of now, Killer Kyle's peacing out, folks, and we will see you for the TNA Impact Wrestling review coming up this Thursday. Peace. Now,